past games between Jacob and Troy, we've got the Time Stranger deck that is usually it's kind of like a Minerva toolbox primarily with a couple of pick your favorite others as the rest of the top end. Of course, both Neptune and Maruki are very strong for removing boards and KOing, getting the final hits. You have some protection and prevention from your board being cleared within Venusmon, but on the other side, we are starting off first with an Ukomon.
Yes, this is unconventional, but this is one thing that I noticed in the list when we first looked at it. Remember, everything is open list, so players know what everyone is playing. I noticed that the Medusamon player, Troy, plays Ukomon in the deck. And it's not a bad choice because you can also find tamers, you can find pieces, and this also accelerates your win condition here.
This Gatomon is a one of Gatomon in the list, so it's really important. We're seeing it very early on in the search right next to the Sylphie, and it looks like both Sylphie and Gatomon going to the bottom in favor of the Venusmon, which might be very relevant for staving off the pressure from Medusamon. Very good start from Jacob to set up this tamer next to the Patamon. It is going to be, not a lot of pressure until next turn we see because, it's the Ukomon promoting.
Yes.
But it is going to be a good search for, I believe, the Starakomon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Troy reveals the Medusamon, Lamiamon, and Elizamon, and opts to add the newest BT24 Medusamon. We raise a new egg, Gigimon, and then we Digivolve into Elizamon in the back. This is the new one that lets you trash a Liberator, Reptile, or Dragon Contrate Digimon to draw 2.
Perfect, and now we're going to see what Troy's able to set up for a following turn. Usually decks like this will want to set up some number of boost or training. That way they're able to really pull out a raise and do everything at once. Now that said, not as necessary when you're able to get everything set up so that you have your level 4 in the trash so that you can go into the Lamia and full Evo, usually for 1 memory after all effects are said and done. But it looks like just a hard play.
Yes.
Of the Lamiamon.
Here's the thing, the Lamiamon's effect is also when attacking and when digivolving, which means that when you attack, what's going to happen is Jacob is going to have to take a card from his hand, place it to the bottom of his security, and then trash top. That will trigger both the effects of the Gigimons under Uko and the Elizamon should Troy promote up.
And the big deal here is because we gave 5 memory to Jacob, we weren't able to trigger either the Tamer or the Patamon for the free evolution. So if you haven't watched Digimon in a while, you might be wondering why so much memory was given. Did Troy brick? Probably not. Actually, it's more likely a very intentional play in order to prevent Jacob from getting a couple of free effects that trigger when they have less than 5 memory. Here, just naturally paying 2 to Evo into the Garurumon to suspend the Lamiamon. And it looks like
we see the Abyss Sanctuary Throne Room come down. This color requirement can be ignored because we have a Digimon with the TS trait. Doesn't that go to the bottom of the security?
Yes, but the way that his security has been laid out, it looks like that's what he's representing as the bottom, because he takes the bottom security and then replaces it with that card as well. So it's basically like a big security bomb at the end of the game, lets you play a level 4 whenever it's hit.
Yes.
And these 4s do have some pretty potent effects to kind of stave off a game shot.
To fully resolve the Abyss Sanctuary, we then play Elecmon, and that's what gave us the search for Garuru and Neptune.
Yes.
So now we're going to add the Garuru and Neptunemon, and then slot the in-between theater to the bottom of the deck.
Neptune, of course, being an incredibly potent tool, especially if your opponent is starting to go wide like this.
Yes.
Here we are going to swing. When attacking, use the trigger of the Patamon to minus 2k. To that Ukomon. Red Scramble doesn't have any target in trash, but it does go to hand.
Yes.
So we know that Troy is going to have the ability to evolve for cheaper, essentially by 1. It's kind of like a Hammer Spark Light, if you think about it.
And we already see in Troy's hand that there is a magical card in there that's kind of gross to already exist. It is the Crimson Blaze that we were talking about earlier.
The reason that I put Gallantmon as my second pick is kind of just representative, as I mentioned, of red decks that go fast, have their own game plan, but also have access to Crimson Blaze, a very strong tool against both this Time Stranger type deck as well as Hoodie. Really, really powerful meta call if you're able to utilize that. And especially in this deck, when you're able to get some petrification tokens on the opponent's side, it becomes a very cheap Crimson Blaze and very profitable as well.
Yes, and now with the Minervamon is going to play down the Homeros. Homeros effect is going to now trigger to reactivate the Minervamon. Minervamon plays out the Tapirmon, and we're just building wider. So right now, this Crimson Blaze next turn is only going to cost 2 memory.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I think Jacob doesn't really even know what's coming to him. Surely Jacob knows what's in the list, but just hoping that Crimson Blaze wasn't looming around the corner. We have a lot of memory to work with. We still have our level 5 on board.
Do you Digivolve, or do you instead activate the Crimson Blaze first, wipe the board, attack with Lamia? Lamia's effect triggers that will push the Abyss Sanctuary up 1, and then trash top, and then Geekymon's effect will trigger to let you Digivolve into Styraco for 1 cost less.
It looks like choosing to.
Oh, sorry, we don't have the Owen out yet. We don't have the Owen out yet.
Right, we do need the Owen to get some of the utilization of these effects. It looks like we're going to start by using the Scramble to go into a Medusa.
Unfortunate, because that's the only card in trash, so we whiff on the Petrification token. It would have been more beneficial to Crimson Blaze first, then Medusa on the attack with Lamia.
I think just correcting the game state there really quickly, the Garurumon should be stood because of the reboot.
Yes.
Off of, given by Medusamon. It looks like we're going to attack with that progress with Raid as well.
Yep.
Going straight into the Minervamon, and the printed power of that Medusamon is not the only thing you need to be looking at, because it also does gain power based on how many Digimon are on board when Digivolving.
We have blockers, so we can block with the Elec, and then we'll still pierce over because the Digimon was deleted by battle. We see the Asuna Shiroki, so that's going to come down. We'll trash a card. I'm guessing we'll trash like a level 4.
Yeah, usually you would like to. That way you're able to get your the best of your effects.
And keep in mind, we're still under progress, so anything else that triggers at this moment wouldn't affect the Medusamon.
Okay.
Right.
It's better for you, to be honest, because then you see what I play. Okay. I'm not trying to.
Looks like we're not able to trigger the effect of that Tamer.
Ooh, so Dimetro, do we have an Owen? We do have an Owen. Oh, that's glorious, because this will be able to end of turn attack with piercing.
Yes. And we still have a lot of memory to work with as Troy. I believe you could go into Styraco here for 4, stand back up when Digivolving, do a lot of damage.
Yep.
I think just choosing how to properly resolve our egg would give us the ability to get that Digivolution trigger before we are able to go and activate the Tamer to trash and draw.
I don't think we have another level 5 is the issue here, but if we do go into Styraco, it'll cost 4. We can trash Abyss Sanctuary because it is the revealed security that we can target.
Yes.
We can then delete Medusa. I think...
Paying 2 for a scramble for no effect, just wants to get it on the board, and then going for the Crimson Blaze, still leaving the Minerva on board, but not going to be able to utilize its effect to play out more Digimon.
Yes.
And even with the 2 memory given to Jacob, not going to be able to utilize the effect of our Tamers to play free Digimon again, because that Crimson Blaze effect, very powerful.
Correct.
6 cost option, reduced by 1 for every Digimon on your opponent's side of the board.
And I believe that DP buff on Medusa persists through your turn.
Yep, represented now by the dice so that there's no confusion about the game state.
We also have blocker with the Dimetromon that has no sources underneath it.
For any reason, if they leave for any reason.
Now, Jacob, considering there really doesn't seem to be a good reason to swing Medusa, maybe just try to bait out a block.
I think we could have won last turn. Truthfully, I think we could have won last turn.
All depends on, the cards in hand.
Well, so the Crimson Blaze would have definitely wiped up enough bodies. You would have created 2 petrification tokens.
Yes.
Which then would have let you Digivolve into a Lysamon Digivolve into Medusamon for free. And then you would have been able to create 2 petrification. That's the thing, the main thing that I'm looking at here.
Yeah, the petrification tokens are definitely a big boon for the deck. Because once you're able to clear those, they're kind of just sitting ducks on the opponent's side. But once you clear them out, they do make your life a lot easier because you're able to, when they're deleted, trash your opponent's security.
Looking like right now, we're trying to figure out how to resolve next effects. We evoed Patamon in the back.
One thing that Troy has done well here is presented multiple bodies that also have different amounts of sources. So it's not going to be easy to just slam something like a Neptune to fully clear
was going to say, is that the plan right now, to slam Neptunemon down to spin back the Elizamon?
Yeah, we could possibly slam Neptune just to get one more body off the board. I wonder if it would have been correct to swing with the Minerva, see if Troy does block it, and if he does, then your Neptunemon might be targeting this Medusa. Oh, but it looks like, of course, the Homeros trigger was able to actually get both in one go, so not even having to worry about that. Now, that said, if the block did go through, Homeros would allow Neptune to fully clear the board. But in this position here, still leaving...
The scramble with Lamiamon is going to be huge this turn.
Yeah.
We Evo into this for 3, but because we're going to activate the Wind Digi-Evolving effect, Jacob is going to be forced to put a card to the bottom of security and then trash the top security.
Yeah, so we've got one, funnily enough, under the option that we tucked in there. Very rare outside of Bs that you'll see a security that looks like this.
Then because a card was trashed, or because a security was removed, this will trigger the effects of your Elizas and Dimetros.
Gaining back memory before we spend it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this Dimetro is additional protection, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like a lightning rod to removal. So maybe playing it extremely safe. The Cyclone mod as well. Maybe just looking for more ways to not give Jacob less than 5. We don't want to trigger those tamers to play out for this Digimon.
We also don't have Medusumon. That's the issue, because all that's in hand right now is Styraco.
We didn't add it back with a scramble?
Well, there's no Styraco. Well, we added the Lamia.
We added the Lamia.
Yeah. So there should be a Styraco in oh, that's the only card in Troy's hand, Styraco.
We are solo on cards. That is a rare thing to see in this card game.
Well, red decks tend to not have draw power is the only thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think it's Styraco. I think it's Owen and another card.
We are going into Agio now here on Jacob's end. Does have the opportunity to return the top security to play out another tamer.
That
We've got another Homeros.
doesn't have the same name as something else, so Dan and Con and you can come
right.
down.
And we're not restricted by Crimson Blaze at this point, so, you know, Medusa looking quite lively. We have 4 memories still to work with, potentially a Sylphimon play, because a lot of these 4s do only cost for themselves. We're going to suspend the Eliza.
Yep.
We do have the ability to swing over it. I don't believe there's any more blockers.
There are no blockers, so at this point, if you attack, you would go 1 with Minerva, 1 with the Neptune, 2nd with Neptune. I think that's just game right here. Yeah, that's game.
We've got the Sylphimon trigger to give one of our Digimon security attack +1 and 5,000 DP. We could choose any of these Digimon here. Looks like we're going to choose the Neptune.
Yeah, because Neptune can go in for 4 checks alone.
Yeah, because of its ability when it suspends once per turn to stand back up.
Oh, there's Owen. 2nd check, Styraco. Too small, though.
Yeah, we've got the +5,000 DP from the Sylphimon. We're going to swing 2 more checks.
Another Styraco.
And that's just going to be it, straight through. Not able to find the 2nd Medusumon.
Good cleanup.
Really was tough for Troy. It seemed like if we were able to, like you mentioned, go for the Crimson Blaze first and set up some of those petrification tokens, possibly even just set up for a 2nd Medusa on the next turn, there was a lot of trouble where you just had to hard play Digimon.
Correct.
And it didn't quite work out with the curve.
Because I feel like he was at 6 memory at that instance. So Crimson Blaze would have cost 2. He would have wiped the board of the Tapir, the Elekmon, and the Garurumon, if I recall.
Yes.
Which leaves only Minervamon.
Yes.
Now you would attack with Lamia, because you had the Elizamon still with the Gigimon egg underneath, which means Lamia's effect would now trigger on when attacking. You would then trigger the Gigi's effect to Digivolve that Lamia into Medusa, so now it's bigger, and it would also delete the Minerva. And since your opponent's under Crimson Blaze, they can't play anything through Minervamon's effect of deletion.
Then you don't have to worry about the blockers on the following turns.
Correct.
You don't have to worry about reactivating the Medusa once the Crimson Blaze is gone.
Correct. And then you would have 2 petrification tokens. So then it'd just be open hunting season at that point.
Now, that said, even if we get that far, if we do still lose the board, you lose the Medusa, it'd be pretty difficult to capitalize on those tokens. So
Correct.
that is the...
We did have the raid.
difficulty.
We did have the raid Cyclone Mon, so that was also going to be another
A way to clear the tokens.
correct.
Yeah, that's true. Seeing on this next game here, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like, considering the mulligans, but I believe it would be Medusa forcing the Time Stranger to go first. That has kind of been the consistent plan, is to make the Time Stranger player go first, give you a little bit of options to set up your response to their first push.
And typically Time Stranger is going to give you more memory than you'll give them. So.
Right. Worst case scenario, they're evolving in the back for 2.
Yes.
And in that case, their board's not very threatening because they haven't had any tamer set up. The 4s kind of don't do anything by themselves unless they're hard playing Gato, and there's only one Gatomon in this particular list, so you don't have to fear that nearly as much.
Low-key, I'm a huge fan of Medusamon, and I'm really excited with what EX11 brings in the current set.
Absolutely. This is a deck that made it all the way to finals, and here is getting more support in the future. One thing I want to highlight, I don't know if you knew this, Ben. This player playing Medusamon was earned the right to play via the LCQ.
Oh, that's huge.
Not only that, they were the 32nd place player in the LCQ. They were the very last player bubbling in the smallest margins of difference between 32 and 33.
And grinding that entire Friday into this. Yeah.
So they worked so incredibly hard on that Friday, playing one of the hardest tournaments of all time to make it qualified into the next day, then finished second in Swiss at the actual national event, managed to make the top 16 and all the way to the finals off of an LCQ that you squeaked in at 32nd.
Yes.
That is an incredible
awesome.
story.
That is in itself an accomplishment already.
Can you imagine making it in as the last LCQ qualifier all the way to first place? You'd have to, overcome the odds. You're down a game here. But what sets up a better Cinderella story than that?
It's not Cinderella, it's the dragon.
Right, Central is the other.
You're right, yeah. So we see Eliza, then we're going to go see an Owen. This is for the BT21 Owen, I believe, the one that gives piercing and the plus memory at the start of main.
Also has the ability end of turn to allow one of your Digimon to attack, a very important ability for Troy to finish off some of these games.
Jacob, using in-between theater, reveals Sonic shot I want to say Gomamon and a Dan and Kan and Yuki.
Looks like we want that tamer, Dan and Kan and Yuki. We do have an Elecmon we can put in the back. I think we were hoping to find something like a Patamon instead, and there it is. Every single time, every Digimon player knows that feeling. I Digivolve in the back to my rookie, and then I draw the one I wanted to put in the raising area. But here we are just going to put that Dan and Kan and Yuki on the field, use its ability to play another search. We could grab Sylphie or the Maruki if
Abyss
we really
Sanctuary?
want. The Sanctuary feels like not the pick unless you happen to have both of these and you're really digging for a 4. But the Sylphie is kind of the playmaker that you want to make sure you have in your hand. So if you're missing that one, you absolutely grab it.
Troy's shaking his head. I don't know if he has the 4 is the issue right now.
You see another Owen in hand, and usually doubling up on those isn't a huge benefit.
Not really.
You might gain a little memory, but not if Jacob doesn't give it to you. It looks like we're just promoting a swinging.
Oh, I know why. He wanted it to be deleted. He has a scramble in hand.
Yeah, that would have been nice, but it looks like instead we're just going to be getting a search for Jacob off of the tamer. Troy's setting Jacob up beautifully. This is the threat that you have when you are forced to chip in a little bit against these Time Stranger, Hootie, all of these better decks that you're seeing. Typically, they have a lot of cards that if you hit them in security early, they can just boost their game plan exponentially. That's typically one of the strengths of red as a color is you don't have to chip as much because you're able to fully OTK.
Yes.
In this case, missing the 4, as you mentioned, forces the hard play of a Lamiamon, means that we're not going to be able to get the trigger effect on our red tamer to play from hand.
Correct.
But that's still 5 memory for Jacob to work with here.
And at this point, Troy's hand size is also just steadily decreasing. Now, normally in the Digimon card game, you're supposed to Digivolve and draw, Digivolve and draw. You're gaining more resources and cycling through the deck as you do this. So far, Troy has Digivolved once with Elizamon onto Kikimon, but then he's played Owen. He's played Scramble. He's played Lamia. That's -1 each time.
I believe we missed the when attacking trigger. Inheritable of that Patamon would have done -2k unless we chose to do it to the Lamiamon.
Potentially.
That is possible for a setup here. It looks like we're gaining some extra memory.
DNA.
DNA into Sylphie incoming. Yep, here comes the Sylphie.
So we're probably going to board wipe here.
Yeah, especially with the inheritable for the Patamon reset. We are going to clear both of these Digimon on board. We're going to have 2 additional swings if we so choose. And at this point, with nothing in the raising area and knowing that there's not a lot of rush options that Medusamon has access to. Now, Troy does have a scant few in the list. Exactly 1 level 6. But without that many options, you are kind of free to give them development pieces and not worry too much. I think just rereading the Sylphimon to make sure that we fully understand.
What's the red card?
I believe that's Cyclone.
Is it Cyclone? Yeah, it's Cyclone.
So I will train.
Hey, I can play your cards too.
Yeah, both players on the Cyclone Mon. The only card I think that's represented in both decks.
Yeah.
You're right. I
Fine.
can anticipate. I can make this attack. End of turn. So
What made Cyclone come out?
this is Sylphie's suspended. Yeah, Sylphie's suspended. Yes. It's -5. -5 for sure.
I feel like I missed a deletion trigger here somewhere.
This.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Okay. This
So the whole board is standing again.
Okay, we're rewinding a little bit.
5 swings, and then end of turn swings here. This is the. So. Can we take the
Players are deliberating. We know for sure that the Patamon's inheritable effect can delete Elizamon.
Yes.
This is
And if it hadn't done it already, I believe it would have been a mandatory trigger to do -2 to the Lamia.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one. Yeah. I can give something -5 and make something attack.
Because the inheritable of the Garurumon is when attacking, you suspend
DNA
something.
is set +1 and +5. Apologies. No, because we didn't get to this card. Yeah, we never got to there. Yeah, go ahead.
Players are still resolving this.
I think some of the confusion here is how did we get to the Sylphimon here without any yellow? So Sylphimon typically will need yellow and then either
Oh, we're not DNA digivolving.
or green. We
Yeah,
manually
okay. We're not,
digivolved.
yeah, we're not DNA digivolving. Oh, he has the one of. Oh my goodness, he had the one of.
Okay, this War Greymon being one of the only tools here that does have that rush ability here.
Yes.
But also can consistently clear a board because not only does it have raid, but it has the ability when you delete one of an opponent's Digimon, it restands.
Yes.
So one-man army reminds me all the way back to BT2, I believe,
Yeah.
of that Black War Greymon.
Yes, it was BT2.
The secret Black War Greymon, beautiful Morishita art.
Yes.
By the way. But harkening all the way back to those days, I think maybe a debate on if we want to try to swing over the Sylphie. If we do, we will.
Do it. You do it.
When we would, I believe Sylphie is interruptive, so it would play out this elect. No reason to go for the Garuru because you will stand back up anyway afterwards.
You've already used the restand once on Wargrey.
I don't believe it's once per turn.
I'm sure it's once per turn. I'm like 90% sure.
It is once per turn.
Okay.
It is once per turn.
My Greymon knowledge has not failed me. Okay, so are we going to Styraco here? Oh, yeah, let's do this. Now, the fun part, when this Styrakomon would be removed, it's going to downgrade to the Wargreymon.
A very rare situation. We do get to delete the Elecmon off the Styraco effect, as well as get that trash. Styrakomon itself is a blocker, has that armor purge, and now has an Elizamon buddy sitting next to it. So it is somewhat insulated against Neptunemon.
Would you not end of turn attack here with Owen?
Yeah, you certainly could. I wonder if there's a reason maybe we're leaving the blocker up, but I can't.
I don't see a reason to, is the thing. There's nothing on board, nothing in raise, nothing has rush. So, like, a Minervamon is the only way to get rid of this Styraco.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be playing the Patamon off the Tamer effect. Bot deck here. Start our turn, draw a hatch, and then we can trigger the Patamon ability to Digivolve. I guess maybe if we're super duper worried about a Gatomon play into Sylphie, but even then, it's 2 damage.
There's the Minervamon, so Minervamon could come down right now and Digivolve Styrakomon. There's no Homeros yet, so we could only do that once. We're going to suspend the Styrakomon with Garurumon's effect.
Yep, gaining the memory off the Yuki, I believe.
Gotta love start of main triggers.
There's so much to keep track of in the Time Stranger deck. There are situations where you can attack before you're allowed to unsuspend.
Yep. Do you think Jacob will slam down the Minerva?
It would be able to Digivolve 2 here, so we're able to take out all the way down to the Lamiamon.
And there's no scramble now.
No scramble, so we're not really able to recycle pieces. You kind of put Troy on better have another level 6, and we know that was the problem last time.
I think we are going to do that.
It looks like it's going to be the Venus instead.
Oh, that's kind of gross.
Yeah, we're stripping the sources, so armor purge not really relevant. And then I believe a form of stun not really going to let this Styraco make too many actions.
It can't suspend for the attack now, which means you can't even use progress.
Yeah, I guess we'll also say
Can't suspend, can't activate when Digivolving effects, and because that's able to target up to 2 Digimon, that means this Elizamon on the board, or this rookie is not going to be able to do too much.
Ooh, we got a Dimetro though, but we're only at 1 memory.
Okay, we are able to evo for 1 off the ability of the Elizamon.
And that is the Mem Fixer, I believe.
Yes, I believe you're right, because it's that 4 cost. Going into the Lamia, I believe this is forcing Jacob to add a card from hand to security and then trash the top.
I do believe we have the Medusa, so we are going to try to go full combo here because we can gain back 2 memory, and then trigger the effect of Gigimon to Digivolve the Lamiamon stack.
Yeah, of course, Owen's going to be able to give us the ability to attack at end of turn as well, so even though the memory gauge is passed, we are going to be able to continue this combo.
Oh, that deletes 4,000 or less, doesn't it?
Yes, that Owen deletes 4K or less. And then the second Owen will be able to end of turn, able to force the attack.
So I will attempt to put this in security.
What are we checking on right now, I guess is the question.
Not too certain.
Oh, and then when you try to delete something, Styraco's effect will trigger.
Yes. Styraco will be able to delete a Digimon on the board, even your opponent's Digimon.
Yep.
Which is an incredibly resilient removal effect.
There's the Medusa. So the reduction, it will be for 2 memory. We will delete Garurumon.
Place 2 cards from the trash at the bottom of the deck. Usually we want to grab the 4s so they can't be recycled off of the Tamers. I believe Jacob's list is only playing one of the purple tamer that can grab from the trash, so not a huge deal here.
I
But
feel like I would have grabbed the Patas. I don't want them to Digivolve for free. Here, my good man, have some petrification tokens.
beautiful petrification box stopper tokens, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So we got the 2 tokens. And now we're going to be able to trigger the end of turn attack.
You should be able to see 1 security trashed, 1 security pierced.
Trash my top.
Because we're deleting that petrification token, it has the ability to trash that security, and then we have that progress. We're going to get some damage in. 1 check.
Here's the pierce. And then all effects have finally resolved.
Did we not raid into that petrification token?
I think that's what they did. Because Medusa Mons, when Digivolving, put out the 2 tokens.
Right.
Then afterwards, end of attack trigger, end of turn effects trigger. So now Medusa Mon attacks. It raids into one of the tokens. That's where you get the trash and then the piercing.
That makes sense. Down to 1 security left on Jacob's end. Nothing to pull out of the raising. 4 memory that we're sitting on here.
I think Minerva Mon's the play here.
It might be the only option that you have to try to put up a defense.
If you play
One of your guys from anything.
Neptune, that's a bad idea.
All it does is get rid of the Starakomon, and then you still have...
But then Starakomon's effect triggers.
Yeah. And then Starako would pop the petrification token, trash the security,
Yeah,
because, you know, Neptune's going to protect itself.
yeah.
So I feel like you have to put up a board of defense instead with the Minerva.
Minerva's your only good out here, I feel like.
Still is eyeing up the Neptune. Do we have the Minerva in hand?
We have the Minerva, we have the Neptune, and we have Baruki.
Do not have an illusion.
There's the Minerva.
Okay, and Minerva,
Have any illusion.
We don't
do
play
you have
anything.
anything to play?
Oh, but if we don't play anything, we don't de-Digivolve, do we?
One play.
I believe
Okay,
we
we
do
do.
regardless. Yeah, it's you may play, and then you get the Digivolve trigger.
1 for each. Yeah. So Agio comes out.
Yes. I have no other effects. I'm casting on this effect. Do not want to simply die.
So you have 2 blockers.
1 petrification token and a dream.
Now keep in mind, both players are for sure locked in for Worlds Japan. At this point, it's fighting for the glory.
We've got a lot of memory to work with on Troy's end.
Unfortunately, I don't think Troy's hand is really giving us any value here.
I don't think we have a rookie, or we probably would have just put it down to get the free draw to begin with.
Is that a Lamia? Yeah, there's a Lamia in the hand at least.
Okay, then we have a direction.
Yeah.
There we go. So naturally, Evo's for 3. We're going to force Jacob to add to security and then trash.
Imagine if you put Abyss Sanctuary in there.
You certainly could. Troy removed it earlier.
I think it has to be face up though to actually like trigger.
I believe Jacob rightfully pointing out that Troy should be gaining memory off of that interaction from Lamia as well. Now going into the rookie in the back, get an additional draw.
We have the Styrako play.
Styrako getting rid of the Minerva would make a pretty simple solution, I think, to the end of this game.
Yep. Evo into Styrako here, trash last security.
Troy just taking his time because he doesn't want to make sure, making sure he hasn't missed anything.
Yeah.
And we do have the Owen on board, which means we are able to Evo the Styrako over the Lamia.
For
It's
6.
just a 6 cost as instead of the typical 4 that you would go over like a Medusa or any other level 6.
Could have been 5 actually with the Lamia Mon's effect. So now we delete Minerva or Agio.
Deleting Agio.
We'll attack here.
The only blocker possible is the Minerva Mon, so... Yeah, it looks like that's just a concession from Jacob. He's going to block, but he doesn't have anything to play off that's impactful, and then Troy just gets to swing for the final check there. And that is a big turnaround from game one. Like I mentioned, it would be kind of a crazy story to make it all the way to finals, even losing the first game, turn it all the way around, coming from 32nd place at the LCQ.
Coming in with no idea how your weekend was going to go.
Yes. You come in with a hope and a dream, but no guarantees. And now already has the guarantee that he's going to be representing us in Japan. With a deck that, I think many pet deckers have enjoyed and expected to be well, but not one that's been at the top of the radar.
Looking at Troy's deck list, there are a lot of one techs that I personally haven't been using.
Yeah.
Mainly because, with PT24, it basically said you can build a pure tribal line.
Yes. And a lot of people do look at something like these Liberator decks and think, why would I put anything else in there? And I think that's a big strength that Troy's showing off, is the flexibility in choosing which tech cards are right for the moment. Stuff like the one of Cyclomon.
The one of Wargreymon.
And that, absolutely showing up so far.
And this also shows that Crimson Blaze is still probably one of the better options to run over like Raging Serpentine, although that could change as we move into EX11 with other cards like Vortex Dramon.
Right, absolutely depends on what the metagame shapes up to be. If we have to have that big kind of removal, I mean, everybody remembers, maybe not everybody at this point, it's been a long history for Digimon. I remember back when the benefit of running your red deck was that you got to play Gaia Force.
Yes.
And now, we're not even playing the option that costs half as much but does just as much.
And with the, dev panel from yesterday, after revealing Beelstarmon and Flybullet, now I'm asking myself, when are we getting Wargreymon Gaia Force?
Yeah, that would be a very cool card to see. I wouldn't be surprised if that's in our future.
Yeah, I would not be surprised myself.
Shuffling up for game 3.
Ukomon is definitely an interesting pick for Medusamon for the consistency. It seems the deck was kind of tailored in similar ways to what Rocks and Minerals do.
Yes.
Because they also are like, we run our Cenorizas, but we also run Uko.
We have it now with Rocks, you really want to get 2 Tumblemons in the trash as soon as possible. Whereas with the red side of things, I feel like it's more so I want to see as many cards as possible to make sure that I have that consistency. Rocks has a lot of inbuilt consistency, whereas in this, the illusion of choice, in this deck, it's not as much. We saw multiple times where you're like, I don't know what Troy has in hand, really.
Yeah. Troy's opening up with the Elizamon, that's the Digivolution cost reduced from BT24, does a training, reveals double Elizamons from BT18? No, it's first appearance, 21. And then sends one at the bottom.
But Jacob's response is just a Homeros, no rookie in the back, no search card. And you got to imagine that that's off the back of a mulligan and not what you want to see.
Jacob's hand right now appears to be a lot of Olympus 12 Digimon.
Yeah, those big Digimon.
Yeah. Oh, we got the Tamer too. So we're going to see the Owen Dreadnought. This is the BT24 one that lets you spin the Tamer back.
Going into the Lamia for 1 off of the training. Everything is coming up beautifully for Troy right now. We have a card in the trash now for a target for that petrification.
At this point, Troy's basically just thinking, oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Oh yeah, it's looking beautiful. We do have, I believe this Owen does also have the end of turn attack trigger if we wanted to go that route. But just swinging in with the Lamia, and now we have the ability to utilize the egg.
Do it? I don't think you do it. Because we don't have 2 cards in trash, so Medusamon fizzles here.
Oh, it does have to be 2.
And since we hit the option card, nothing happens.
Yeah, because that theater is going to be a delay option, it's stuck on the board. It looks like we are waving away and not going to go ahead and utilize that ability to Digivolve. We're going to get 2 off of this search here. We do have the Staracomon now. Elizamon hanging out, and honestly, when my opponent's turn 1 was Slam Homeros, I am not too worried about leading the Lamia here with the Elizamon.
I think Jacob's play is probably going to go Minervamon just to shut down the Lamia play. I think that's your best bet, just to stave off additional attacks.
you could build a little bit of a board with the combination of the Minerva and the Homeros. I think maybe debating if we want to gain the 2 memory before we commit to the Minerva.
I agree with that.
Effects on my turn.
Go up to 4 off of the in-between theater. Are we going to do it? Okay, yeah, so Minervamon comes down for the reduced cost.
Setting to 3 on Troy's side, we have the ability to play that level 4. We're going to go for the Aegiomon.
Add top security.
We had another Tamer. Do we have one to play?
We have a Dan and Kon and Yuki.
That's certainly one that I would like to see. That gives you an ability to chip away a little bit with the Minervamon.
Doesn't have Rush, though.
That's true, yeah, not going to be able to get anything.
But we can de-Digivolve again. The thing is, if Troy has another Lamiamon, it's actually really funny. Because when you Digivolve off either of these Elizamons, you have a Dimetro in the trash already and Owen in play.
The Cyclomon does have Rush,
That is true.
which means that Dan will be able to give the Cyclomon the ability to attack, raid into this Elizamon and clear everything off the board. And of course, going to be able to utilize a Time Stranger option as well before attacking. And if I'm not mistaken, lets you spin or bounce a Digimon to hand that is suspended.
Correct.
So this is going to be a full clear of the board.
Correct.
And with no scramble, nothing in the raising area, this is a crazy turnaround from Jacob, despite being in a position that didn't look very good just a moment ago.
Yeah.
That's the power of Minervamon. I've seen a couple of other lists that want to specialize on one particular Olympus 12 member, but I think Minervamon really is the glue that holds them all together.
Why are we bringing Elizamon back out? Was there a scramble? Oh, no, it was the Owen. It was the Owen.
Yes, Owen.
The Owen is a pseudo-scramble.
Yeah, he allows you to replace himself with another Owen from hand, and then if you don't already have a Digimon on board, you are, like you mentioned, a pseudo-scramble, able to play out that Eliza. Now, will we be able to do too much with it? Unclear. Like we mentioned, there's only so few options that give us Rush
We need
in this
that
deck.
War Gray.
Yeah, War Gray would look quite good here.
I don't think we have the Lamia as the problem.
Yeah, and I don't think we have a Dimetro in the trash because it got spun back to hand to utilize a Lamia with.
So that has blocker and can spin itself.
And then, again, just clarifying the board state, the Cyclomon should be stood because of reboot. It's a blocker. Troy considering his options. What does he have available? Is he going to... I think the main thing he's asking himself is, am I going to lose next turn if I don't do something right now?
It's possible.
And it's not a far cry. It is a... You've got one swing with barrier. You've got one big, level 6 Digimon swinging.
And then the DNA.
You got a DNA for 2 more checks. You've got Dan and Yuki.
And the Marukimon's in hand for sure. We've seen it.
And that's as long as we have the Sylphimon, it's signed, sealed, delivered.
Yep. If you put Jacob to 4 memory, or 5 memory to avoid the effects of Homeros.
Looks like we're just going to put 1 memory over to Jacob. So that means we will have access to the Homeros at the end of the turn. Not forced to suspend it for the draw here.
We have Aegiomon in hand. There's Maruki. They only have 2 cards in hand.
Wow, yeah, just the Agio and the Maruki.
That is true. They've been playing cards this entire time.
Yeah, they did play a lot straight from hand off of the Minerva.
To Agio, to Dan, to Cyclone, to Option Tuck. I was like, wait, what happened to Jacob's hand?
It's gone. And I think that is part of what Troy was deliberating so much is, well, what are the odds that he has it with 2 cards in his hand? You can swing here with Barrier, although I'm not even sure if I would want to trigger Barrier when I've only got 3 security left staring at a Dimetron in the back.
Yeah. And Troy is just missing a level 5 for full combo.
And if we hit that level 5, we are gaining memory.
Yep.
If Jacob's best play is a Marukimon, then there's also going to be a lot of memory available for Troy. A scramble hit.
Oh, no.
That's another search. That's the big deal, is we have a search off of this Elizamon. Do we see the level 5?
The double Owen.
Double Owen and a Cyclonemon, no 5, but this means we're 3 cards closer to the level 5
Correct.
that we need.
So we can add the Cyclone, we can add the Owen as our Liberator card. Really? I feel like I would have added the other Owen. Because the other Owen is like a pseudo scramble still.
It is. Although I think Troy's goal is to finish the game next turn regardless. Gonna get one.
Jacob feels a little pressure now, so I think he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. And
we're raiding him.
Yeah. Troy's kind of like, I can't do anything.
Yeah, all these Digimon stand back up because of that reboot that Minerva gave access to, just passing the turn.
Oh, we're not even going to use Homerose's effect to play Aegeomon.
I think we want to hold on to it here.
You could be mean.
Jacob's like, I got 2 cards. Troy's just like, I got this huge handful of cards. Like,
which is such a far difference from what we saw in the first game.
Yeah.
The exact opposite.
I don't think you promote out yet.
If we don't have the 5, there's not a lot of reason to promote out here.
Well, because you don't have end of turn attack. That's my issue with this right now.
Okay, we are going to search for the 5. Let's see if we can hit it.
You find Medusa in a training.
I think Troy showing it all with his hands right there. Where are you, Lamiamon?
I'll give you a hint. It's in his security.
Every time you're playing Digimon, you look at the top
Always security.
15, 20 cards of your deck and you don't see the one you're looking for, it's in security.
Yeah, it's usually in security.
Okay, we do scramble into the Dimetramon here.
To play out the other Owen. Now you have 2 Owens. That's it.
2 Owens and a Dream. Jacob wasn't able to finish the job last turn. We'll see if we're able to do it this turn. The draw was a Garurumon.
I mean, we're just playing defense at this point.
Yeah, we're just trying to clear the board of everything. And fully committing your raising area here means next turn you don't really have a strong option. Like you mentioned, passing up on the other arm. We have a scramble, but we have such few ways to capitalize off of a scramble.
There's Medusa. Barrier?
Debating whether we want to. I think, we picked it up. We've committed. That's a barrier here. Cyclone gonna raid in to bounce. Yep, we were able to do that because we played the Garurumon.
There's
Not
one level
raiding it.
5.
Yeah, choosing not to go for the raid. Crimson Blaze! What a hit in security! The Cyclomon's still living because it is linked.
Yep.
So it is at 7K currently. Marukimon going to be on the board, has the ability to attack, and I think Troy realizing that's the writing on the wall, even though it was a Crimson Blaze, Marukimon's going to clear the final Digimon on board. You have nothing in raising, no way to really play out after that.
Wasn't there a scramble?
There was a scramble, but with no rush, you don't have really anything to fight back. He was still missing the Lamiamon.
But the scramble would have added back the Lamiamon to the top of deck, so he could have scrambled Lamia to the top of the deck, drew Lamiamon.
Yeah, there might have been wheels that he could turn, but I think at the end of the day, he realized it wasn't a wheel worth spinning.
Yeah.
He saw the writing on the wall and extends the hand. It's going to be Time Stranger that ends up sealing the deal.
Woohoo.
I mean, that board was so wide.
Yeah.
I think